Now, the next part of this is me talking about Instagram influencer marketing, and I actually started doing this for my own personal brand recently, and I think this is probably one of the best ways you can actually advertise, and it doesn't really cost you much. And so I highly recommend doing this. It's the best way to build a real brand. Okay, so I'm going to use this brand as an example. It's called Light Leggings. And basically they have like over 20 Instagram influencers that they work with. And basically what they do is they give these Instagram influencers free products, and any sale the influencer brings in, they get a percent of it. So you don't actually have to pay them any like upfront cost. They just get a percent of any sales they bring in, which is really good. And your goal as a company should be to have as many influencers as possible, because that's going to help you grow so much. So let's say you had like a team of like 30 influencers and they're all basically promoting your product. You're gonna end up getting a lot of sales just from that. And of course, the biggest brands have so many influencers working for them, and so that's the best way to get exposure. And if you go back to their Instagram, as you can see, they have a bunch of influencers. They all work for them. So let's check out this influencer and see what their page looks like. So this girl has 11,000. She's actually pretty good. That's a decent influencer to work with. And let's go through and see what products this influencer has here on her feed. So yeah, as you can see, she posts a bunch of photos with little brands and stuff like that, so that's going to be really good. This is definitely the type of influencer you want. And what this influencer can do is put your store link in her link tree, which is in her bio, and so if people click on her link tree, they can probably just go to your store. So basically what you can do is you can get an Instagram influencer like this to be an affiliate, and we already talked about how affiliates work. So what you want to do in general is give them 20% of every sale they bring in. That way she'll put the link in her link tree here, so if people click on the link tree, they could go to the store and buy the product, and so she can make a small commission from that. And of course you have to give them a free product to promote with, because if you're selling leggings, they obviously have to model in the leggings on Instagram, so you need to give them that. And now the big thing I want to mention is the more Instagram influencers you have, the better. So if you can get a bunch of Instagram influencers and create a deal like this with them, you definitely will end up being successful. So I would use this brand as an example. They're doing everything right. So I would say the best thing to do, honestly, is reach out to as many influencers on Instagram as possible. I would also say try not to get someone with way too many followers. Like I'd say under 100,000 followers is probably the sweet spot, but if you try to get someone more than 100,000 followers, they might end up charging you a lot of money. But this person is a great example of someone to use, as they get really good engagement, and also she has a lot of followers as well. And a really easy way to find these Instagram influencers is go on TikTok, search up any hashtag relating to the product. So if you're selling girly stuff, literally search up hashtag girly and check out all the posts, see who posts them, and basically what you can do there is check out their TikTok profile. If they're famous on TikTok, they also might be famous on Instagram. So you can also check out their Instagram, and if you see their Instagram has a pretty decent following, try to get them to be an affiliate for your brand on Instagram, and you never know, maybe in the future they'll also promote for you on their TikTok. That's how I actually find my influencers. And again, in the course here, what I've done is I put here the legal contract with influencers. So just make sure here that you give any influencer you work with this contract, because they have to sign it. So you want to make sure that you alter it for every influencer that you work with. So if I were you right now, I would work on finding a bunch of influencers to work with for your brand. If you can find like 10, 20, 30 plus, and then try to get them to be affiliates, give them that affiliate code like I showed you guys before, and then you can just have them as an affiliate and they can promote your product. And once you finish watching this video, you're going to come to this section, which is basically the email you want to send to all Instagram influencers. And also this is basically the same thing as the TikTok one. The only difference is obviously it's going to be a different affiliate link, which you're going to create with that Shopify app that I already showed you how to do. And that's basically it. And so you just send this to all the Instagram influencers that you want to work with. And I'll be honest, it is really hard to get influencers on board. It can take a couple months to get a lot of them. So the more you reach out to, the better, of course. So just don't give up on this. Reach out to as many influencers as possible. And eventually you will get a bunch of influencers to work with your brand.